Hi and welcome to Guardians of Tyr. My name's Barry and we have game 3 in our Order versus Death matchup. We both have one game apiece and this is a deciding one. So Liberator Prime is deployed for me. Mike's going to deploy 2 champions. So we've got Hungering Vampire Lord going in, so discard a card to gain 2 health, and Vargolf Courtier, when a spell is deployed you can gain a health. Another Liberator Prime going in for me. Mike's jumping the gun a bit there. I get to deploy 2. And Poster Boy for Order, Vandus Hammerhand goes in. Skeleton Champion and Bloody Vampire Queen goes in for Mike, and then my last lay was Celestant Prime. So Celestant Prime, as we all know by now, draw 2 cards, look at 1, put 1 at the bottom of the deck. So obligatory handshake for the camera, and off we go. So Celestant Prime. Start off with some card draw, give me more options, let's see what we can do. Second action. Disruptive Liberator, hitting Celestant Prime's first quest. So Bloody Vampire Queen cannot play units into her lane. Mike's first action is a Feasting Vargeist, gain to health back. Mike starts on 27 health, I start on 35. So his Feasting Vargeist is going to gain him health for the first 2 corners and then give him card draw on its third. Second action is passed, so he gets to draw a card. There we go. Back to 27 for Mike. Celestant Prime, Heroic Act. Let's see what we can draw. So the main card draw for the Celestant Prime deck is Inspire Glory and his Heroic Act. So you're forever digging to see what you can get. Mike's got a lot of card draw with his Feasting Vargeist, and he tends to recycle those guys a lot. So we've got Paladin Decimator going in for the Liberator Prime's slot. Go. Mike gains another health. So all really my Disruptive Liberator is doing is stopping Bloody Vampire Queen from deploying. So Mike's passed. He's drawing 2 cards. Paladin Decimator is going to do for 1. Disruptor is going to do 2. Celestant Prime's Heroic Act. So quite aware that realistically I've got 2 units that do a lot of damage, but I haven't done much to him at all. Lord of the Host will reset that Disruptive Liberator. So stopping Vampire Queen from deploying units. Liberator Prime's completed his first quest. Mike draws 2 cards for the Feasting Vargeist. That Feasting Vargeist is one heck of a card. It's so good. So essentially, since Mike passed his last turn, he's drawn 4 cards. So Arcane Bolt going into play. Nothing for the first 2 turns, and he's going to hit me for 7. Mike's second action. we go. Health back for the Vargoth Courtier. So it really does feel like my units have done absolutely nothing. Going in with their hammers for not a lot of reward. So, Claws of the Grave. So he gets another health back. So the Claws of the Grave isn't going to hit anything at the minute, but basically triggers the last corner of a unit in a discard pile. 2 damage from my Decimators and 1 damage from my Liberators. Celestant Prime's Heroic Act. Let's see what I can draw. So Star Drake's going into play under Vandus. Discard a card. So your prime cards in the deck you want to deploy under Vandus, because if somebody does play a removal, you're going to hit them back for 3. So at least you're getting some return on your big heavy hitting cards. Arcane Bolt gets a little bit closer. Claws of the Grave didn't trigger anything. It should actually trigger the 2 card draw for the Feasting Vargeist, because you remove exhausted units first and then trigger effects. Devour. Devour hits my Star Drake, killing it off, but he takes 3 damage from my from Vandus Hammerhand. Vandus Hammerhand, his first quest is now complete, so he will rotate. So with the Devour, Mike gets to take that Feasting Vargeist that was in a discard pile and pop it back into his deck. So he's recycled his health and his card draw. So Hungering Vampire Lord gives him 2 health back. But more importantly, he's put a Terrorgeist into his discard pile, so the Claws of the Grave is going to hit me for 4. So Decimators hit for 3, Liberators hit for 2. So a nice big chunk of health coming off Mike. Digging again with the Celestant Prime. Probably looking for a Triumphant Smash, something like that, because next turn I'm going to get hit for 10. I tend to do chip damage, whereas Mike tends to do a burst damage. So, Disruptive Liberator onto Vandus Hammerhand, completing his next quest. So, the Courtier will not deploy units there. There we go. Arcane Bolt and Claws of the Grave go off. So, it's going to be 11 damage coming my way. So Mike's first action. So he's done another Devour, kills off my Disruptive Liberator. 3 damage for Vandus, but he gets to recycle that Terrorgeist back into his deck, and he's completed the second quest for his Vargoth Courtier. So we've got 2 Devours gone. How many more to go? Okay, just going to draw a card. Paladin Decimators are done. Liberators are done. Board's kind of reset. It's not the best feeling to have a reset board, nothing going on. Celestant Prime again. So I've got my card draw, so if Mike deploys into the Vargoth Courtier lane or the Skeleton Champion, I get to draw 2 cards. So everything's rotating out for Mike. Played Devour on my Inspire Glory. I don't think he's got a unit in his discard pile, but that's all 3 Devours gone. But he's certainly done some damage. He's got rid of my Liberator, he's got rid of my Star Drake, now he's got rid of my card draw. My board is completely wiped, and now he's getting his health back. So I may have controlled the lane somewhat, but certainly Mike has definitely got more control on the game, because essentially he's nerfed my card draw and killed off my units. Hurricane Raptors, second quest done for Celestant Prime. I found in the practice games it was best to try and get his quest done early, as you've got a couple of spells, so you can use Inspire Glory to complete his last 2, or do one of his other spells and then do it with Lord of the Hosts to complete quest 4. So it's fairly easy to do. So Mike gets a health back with Feasting Vargeist. So Mike can't deploy units, he can't play spells, he can't play abilities through Vampire Queen. So Curse Strike on me, 3 damage. It's not going to get the second ability, but it does rotate the Vargeist. Frenzy Vargeist goes in, so it's not going to do any damage this turn. It's going to do 1 damage next turn and remove a unit if it was there, and if he removes the unit he gets an extra action. So he's blessing his Necromantic Bloodline. Every time he deploys a spell he gets to draw the value in the clunky corner, so that value is 2 for the next 3 times. 2 damage from Hurricane Raptors. Celestant Prime again. So Mike's definitely got the card draw. I mean, he's got Feasting Vargeist out, he's got his Necromantic Bloodline, he's got phenomenal card draw going on. But I'm getting 2 cards that I get to see and pick my best one. Get rid of his Triumphant Smash. To get rid of his Frenzied Vargeist. Completes Fantasy's 3rd quest. 2 cards for Mike. So Mike's drawing another 2. So he's certainly cycling through his cards. I've got nothing on the board. I really need to get moving again. Celestant Prime. Let's have a look. Thing is, Mike's not about to hit me with anything. So might be a turn where I'm just drawing 2. Just depends if I can complete Vandasy's quest or get something moving on Celestant Prime to do the last 2 on him. So I've drawn 2 cards this turn. Feasting Vargeist rotates out. Arcane Bolt goes into play. 2 cards because he deployed a spell for the Necromantic Bloodline, and his Vargulf Courtier will give him a health back because he's deployed a spell. Feasting Vargeist again, so he's recycled these with these playing Devour. So he's got another health back through that. And in 2 turns time, he will draw another 2 cards. Long Strike Raptors go in. Second quest done on my Liberator Prime. Makes Mike deploy into his Skeleton Champion unless he wants to take 4 damage. best to do it on this champion as opposed to the other Liberator Prime, because otherwise the Hungering Vampire Lord will complete one of his quests just to counter the Long Strike Raptors. There we go. Infected Terrorgeist goes in. Mike discards a card. So Mike is slowly ticking up in health again. Mike draws a card. My go. 2 damage from the Long Strike Raptors. Celestant Prime. Another Star Drake going in. Discard a card. I don't have to worry about Devour this time because that's gone. Feasting Vargeist gives Mike 2 cards. Arcane Bolt's going to hit for 7. Terrorgeist goes round. For some reason I thought he dealt me 3 damage, but he didn't because I read the corner wrong. So just remember to read the correct corners. So Claws of the Grave in. So there's nothing in the discard pile to trigger off it, but he's deployed a spell, so the Varghulf Courtier gives him a health back, and Necromantic Bloodline gives him 2 cards. So Death can certainly fill up their lanes due to the amount of card draw they're getting outside of their actions. So Heroic Act with Vampire Lord, gain 2 health. Now discarded the Reapers, so when Claws of the Grave goes off, he's going to hit me for 4. Nothing from the Raptors, 5 damage from the Star Drake, turn over Vandus' quest, and again 3 health from Healing Storm. So that's a welcome relief. So I'm about to get hit for 7. Celestant Prime. So second action, I tried to play Lord of the Host on Star Drake, but it's not a Stormcast unit, so I can't reset that Star Drake. I have to pull a Griff Charge Pack to do that. But even if I'd have played it, I couldn't activate the Griff Charge Pack because I didn't have enough actions, and you can't play the same card twice. So Inspire Glory. So next turn I could hit to get health. So 4 damage because the Reapers are in the discard pile. And 3 damage from the Terrorgeist. But I shouldn't have been hit for 4 damage from the Grimghast Reapers that were in a discard pile because the exhausted cards should have gone to the pile first, meaning that Claws of the Grave would have hit me for nothing. So very important that you cycle the cards in the correct order. All exhausted cards leave first, and then effects happen. Another Claws of the Grave goes in. Varghulf Courtier triggers for 1. Necromantic Bloodline gives him the last 2 cards. Discard a card from Hungering Vampire Lord. Puts the Zombie Dragon into play in his discard pile for Claws of the Grave. So I'm going to get hit for 4, 8, 12 damage when Mike starts his turn. Get 2 health from the Healing Storm, but I need to get to 13 to survive or deal 15 damage. So I could either trigger the Celestant Prime, trigger Inspired Glory to gain 2 health and hit Celestant Prime's quest and reveal the blessing, or do something with the maybe try and reset the Long Strike Raptor. But there's not a lot. I haven't got many options left. Lord of the Host, there we go. Reset the Raptor, gain 2 health, and that will complete the quest on Celestant Prime. Let's see what's under there, which is Pennant of Sigmar. So I can restart all my units once. And Hurricane Raptors go in for 1 damage. That's it. So Claws of the Grave goes round. 4 damage from that, 4 damage from the next, 4 damage from the infected Terrorgeist. Ooh. There we go. So Mike won that. Well done, Mike. Death win. The best of 3 matchup. So yeah, I tried my best. Not today. This is the deck I was using. So this is 6 Sage Gaming Celestant Prime Control. So you guys can test it out. And then we have Mike's Vampire deck, Bloody Tooth and Claw, in case you guys want to check that deck out and see what you guys think of it. Okie dokie. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment below. Coming up next, we have a game between Undead versus Chaos, which will be Nagash versus Valkyria the Bloody. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.